Welcome to WinSouls TV. This is your boy, Jeffrey Thomas. This is your host, Jeffrey Thomas. Now, if you are looking for spiritual adventures with God, if you are struggling with your belief in God, and you are just looking for testimonies of things that He has actually done, this is the channel for you. Go ahead and click that subscribe button and check out the description box below and all of the playlists on the channel. Now, here we go. Let's jump into another healing adventure. Concerning this healing adventure, I've been boxing for quite a while now, and I just picked it back up in Oklahoma. Well, the place that I go to, one of the fighters in there, his parents come to watch him, and his father actually rides around in a wheelchair, and he has a walking cast on. And when I look at them, and this is not a knock on anybody or anything, but what I'm saying is, when I looked at them, immediately I got the sense that there was something that was holding them in a specific place. They looked dirty. They did not look clean, but it wasn't necessarily the fact that it wasn't just their appearance. It was more so a spiritual thing, if that makes any type of sense. Have you ever just been around somebody and just by being around them, it's just like, man, I don't feel right. I feel dirty. Well, that can be something, demonic, and it can also just be some type of form of depression, oppression, which is also demonic as well. But with that said, so I walk past them, and immediately my attention is drawn to them. And usually when I walk past somebody and the Lord wants me to pray for them, I start getting hot. Well, this time I didn't get that. But I still got the inkling that the Lord wanted me to pray for them. Just simply put, when I looked at him, there was a desire to want to go and pray over the situation. And, sometimes I just go and ask, and if they say no, then I still go and pray. Not with them in the moment. So I go over there while I'm putting on my gloves, and I sit and have a conversation with them, and just for a couple minutes, and I find out that basically he's been really sickly. I think he had a urinary tract disease. He was always coughing and stuff, always coughing and sneezing. He had some type of either a car accident which happened with his leg. He had specific skin issues, and all of these things were just happening back to back to back to back to back. I mean, it was just as if it's just like, man, like, geez, is there any letting up or anything? And immediately in my mind I thought, okay, that has to be some type of demonic attack. And I'm just listening, because through listening, and I'm giving you a little tip here, through listening, you can always understand what the state of that person's heart is in. And the heart and the mouth have a direct relationship with each other. So you can always understand what that person is going through or what they need to be delivered from just simply by what they're saying, you see? And so I'm listening, and then I stopped him. And I said, are you a believer at all? And they said yes. They both said yes. And I said, okay, well, do you mind if I pray for you? And he was just like, yeah, sure, please. And this guy had to be he looked like he was in his late 50s. This guy was like 40. Just clean out of his 30s. Honestly, around mid 40s. So I start praying for him, and I had my eyes closed. Well, while I had my eyes closed, I saw this ball of light on the inside of him. Now, this is in my mind's eye. This wasn't in an open vision. And so, but it's still a form of seeing in the spirit. And I saw this ball on the inside of him, this ball of light. And then that ball of light started to expand and expand and expand and expand. And in my mind, it basically opened up and filled his whole body. But it started off as a small little ball of light. And I took that as, and this is what the Lord was speaking to me about when he was showing me that. He said, over the span of the next 3 months, everything that he has described to you will be gone. And I said, okay. And so while he was showing me that and telling me that through the picture as in my mind as well, I prayed that. I prayed that that would happen. So the next week that I come in, I see him and he's still sitting in the wheelchair, but I almost did not recognize him simply because the wrinkles on his face were going away. The movement and the way that he was talking, he didn't sound like depressed, or there was no form of anxiety. There was like this glow all over his skin, even on the inside. I mean, this guy was smiling from ear to ear. I mean, it was like a complete 180. And I knew that the healings would continue. And so I went and talked to him. I said, well, how's everything going? I wanted him to bring it up. I said, how's everything going? He said, well, you know what? You remember that cough I had? He said, that was the first thing to go. And then I just went and got checked, and I don't have a urinary tract disease anymore, or an infection anymore. It's all gone. And then, he was just naming stuff, this and this and this, and blah, 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 blah. And I looked at him and I was just like, you look younger. I mean, I was so amazed at that because I had never seen that before. Never seen that in any healing that I had ever been involved with. Anybody, just begin to look younger. And honestly, I think that through the warfare prayers that I was praying, and then the healings that I was used to pray after that as well, were working hand in hand to get all of the influence of Satan out of his life, and then also to introduce the power of God. And I came back the week after that, he was still in the wheelchair, but then the cast was off. And then I'm just like, goodness gracious. I mean, all of these things that the Lord was using me to pray for, gone. I mean, and the Lord does that all the time. All he's looking for is just a willing vessel. None of us are perfect, so get that out of your mind and don't let Satan attack you with that. You will never be perfect, and just because you sinned last night or the day before, don't let him continue attacking you with that. Forgive yourself. Forgive anybody who was involved, and ask the Lord to forgive you. And we got to keep moving forward. We got to keep moving forward because tomorrow is not promised. So get out there and start praying over people. Get out there and start winning souls, because that is, we all have a specific ministry that is catered specifically toward us. But there's a universal ministry for all of us concerning getting out there, healing the sick, raising the dead, casting out demons, and then preaching to people in terms of the word. So get out there and let's get active. Have a good one.